Gates open. They're off and racing. Joker's Grin commenced okay, but he'll find himself back and wide in the early stages at the very least. Big Screen's going to lead them through the first 200 metres. On its outside, Bopping Blue when they got going, a length and a half away behind them. Eight, No Other Man, Cheval de Varga. He's charging his way forward around them, Joker's Grin. Carberry couldn't quite get across, so he's compelled to sit wide on the outside of Generosity, Cool Memory. 2.5 lengths, Hell I Am, Cold Chisel right back there in the field. Likewise, Goes Two Walks. And over on the inside, the tail ender Super Session at the 550, and Bopping Blue slipped a bit of leather, races to the lead. Coming to the turn, Bopping Blue clear of Big Screen. Ain't No Other Man third over on the outside. Back on the rails then Cheval de Varga, the odds-on favourites out there covering ground and about to come to the outside for Carberry. Joker's Grin setting after the leader at the 250. Bopping Blue led by 3. Joker's Grin given a taste of the shillelagh, starts to dig in. Bopping Blue's the leader. Joker's Grin, Generosity getting up on its inside. Generosity diving through in the centre, went to Joker's Grin, and Generosity's going to win a first race here at Ascot. Generosity beat Joker's Grin. Third it was close. Over on the inside, Cool Memory. Hell I Am deeper out. Running on Super Session from Cheval de Varga. Bopping Blue weakening. Then came Cold Chisel. Ain't No Other Man dropped right out of contention. Back there in the field is Big Screen, and the tail ender Goes Two Walks. Generosity bursts Joker's Grin's bubble. Diving through in the centre, Generosity, ridden by Chris Parnham. And she wins her first race here at headquarters at her 12th attempt. Generosity, the Divine Prophet mare. She came scything through the centre. Dashed between Bopping Blue, Joker's Grin, and she was more than a match for the odds-on favourite this afternoon. Number 11, Generosity. Chris Parnham for Simon Miller in a dazzling 109.23. Home in 34.79, wins it by a length, 1 1/4 second and third. 11 from 6, Joker's Grin. Only the second defeat of his career, and he certainly had to cover some ground in a very hotly run 1200 where they've run 109.23, and he was deep all the way. He just couldn't get in, and he raced a bit keen as he tends to do. He was there. Pat fully tested him at the 200 mark when he got to Bopping Blue, but Generosity went through where angels would fear to tread. There wasn't a lot of room. Joker's Grin wanting to lay in a little, Bopping Blue wanting to lay out, and she nearly became the meat in the sandwich. So it's been a fabulous performance when one looks at the head-on vision of the race. Generosity, raced by Simon Miller, Xavier Franklin, Ms. Kay Peters, Ms. M. Kerr, and Chris Parnham aboard there. He really did ride with desperation to get through that needle-eye opening, and there was barely a margin to poke ahead through the gap, but she has surged to victory. Joker's Grin second, the Machino gelding from Walk-In Beauty, Bernie Miller, Patrick Carberry. He goes down fighting, and third spot went the way of number 10, Cool Memory by Impending, prepared by Darren McAuliffe, ridden by Joe Azzopardi. Fourth, 5, Hell I Am. It's 11, 6, 10 and 5. So to race 6, the listed Tab Tutser Ernest Lustia Classic. No changes to come there. Well, let's go down now. We'll catch up with Lockie, and boy, oh boy, that was a courageous, a daring ride by Chris Parnham. He saw the gap, but no sooner had he wound up the mare and was about to take it, the gap all of a sudden started to close, but she bullied her way through and has come away to record a very impressive win, albeit her first here in a dozen starts.
Yes, Darren, she can be a tricky mare to catch, but courtesy of an 11 out of 10 ride from Chris Parnham, Generosity finally got back in the winner's circle here this afternoon. I'm not joined by Simon Miller because he's actually leading in Generosity with one of his closest friends, Xavier Franklin, who is over from Victoria, a part owner in this horse, racing in the Platinum Horse Transport colours. So I'm joined by Kelly Kinnamont. Kel, I'm sure that's a really satisfying result.
Oh, it's such a great result. She's been knocking on the door. She's run some great races. She's a star track worker at home. So glad to see her win today, and what a great ride by Chris.
How did you assess the race in the early stages? Because she was able to settle a touch handier than she has been in recent starts.
Yeah, she always sort of steps slow, but today she stepped quite well and got in that midfield and followed Joker's Grin and bullocks her way through.
What's it like to be training a mare like her behind the scenes? Is it frustrating that she hasn't won more races?
Well, I'm probably a little bit hard on her. I think she's a serial bridesmaid, but Simon and Ellie are like super happy with her. Siobhan does all the track work. She's a little star.
2 more chances to saddle up here this afternoon. Malkar Pindari and Live to Tell. What do you make of their chances?
Hopefully Malka gets a good run in transit, and Live to Tell, we'll see. Hopefully today's the day.
A great result. Well done.
Thanks a lot.
There's Kelly Kinnamont after the win of Generosity. Great to see this mare back in the winner's circle. As you can see, Simon Miller with his close friend Xavier Franklin. They are absolutely wrapped with the result. Xavier actually jumped on a plane late last night. It was just a completely impromptu trip, and it's a trip that is very worthwhile. Here's Chris Parnham catching up with Scotty.
Chris Parnham joins us now here in the Mountain Yard. Chris, Generosity, talk us through the run.
She had a lovely run, travelled good, and probably the best she has all prep, really. And the fact that she began well meant we just be able to be a bit closer. So, no, she was a fantastic win.
You could see in our drone footage, as soon as the gates opened, you and Paddy were eyeing off the exact same spot, and you were always going to hold it.
Yeah, I had the barrier advantage to do it, so I suppose if we had a spot barriers, it probably would have been a little bit different, but no, all credit to the mare. She fought on strongly to win.
Darren was saying that didn't look like there was much room there in the home straight when you were able to poke her through.
Nah, there wasn't a lot of room, but we found our way through the opening, which was nice.
How are you starting to think about Bravo Centurion later on in the Winterbottom?
Yeah, he'll ride the speed, obviously. All going well. Yeah, he will take me for the ride, really, so we'll see how we go.
Well done and good luck in the big one.
Thank you.
There's Chris Parnham combining with Simon Miller and Generosity, taking out the 5th here at Ascot. The Tap Touch. Have you got the touch handicap?